So for this event, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the magazine and then introduce you to some of the guest writers who are going to read excerpts. And we're going to do a little bit of literary trivia, which has become a favorite for our launches. And then we're going to give you a sneak peek for the images that we have for open submissions for 5.2, which is going to be our 10th issue. So just a little bit of history. Like I said, we started Hodgepodge um, during COVID. This was a project I've been thinking about where a group of writers came together to develop a readership, the whole thing of just continuously sending sending stories out kind of in a vacuum had always felt lonely and a little bit just kind of like a slog. And I really wanted to be in community with a group of writers and artists where we were, building relationships and also building an audience over a period of time. Um, so we literally started with nothing. We did not know anything about how to do this. And now we literally have around 5,000 sets of eyes over our 8 issues, which we're feeling very proud of. Um, we also have about 1,500 Instagram followers, 100 current and former guest writers and guest artists in the community. Um, One of the things that we've decided very, very deliberately is to be all volunteer, money-free organization because we want to focus as much of our energy as we have on both creation and community, and those are really what we do. And so instead of money, everybody has day jobs, and their income comes from other areas, some people writing, some people not. Um, we really just focus on activities that develop our relationships and our creative skills. And some of those activities, we invite guest writers to be part of our biweekly staff meetings. It's just a nice moment to connect. It's only like 10 or 15 minutes, but we have people that come regularly, and I always nerd out like, oh, we have guests here. It's always really exciting to see people just drop in and just have a little conversation, again, just for 10 minutes. We also host a monthly story club where we read an O. Henry award-winning short story and gather to discuss it, to look a little deeper at craft issues. A couple of issues ago, we started submitting nominations for Pushcart, Best of the Net, Best Small Fictions, and now the O. Henry Prize for Short Stories. And the most recent thing we just started doing, thanks to Woodread, is we are now offering hard copies of our issues, which are available on Amazon through print on demand format. And we've been able to do that again with no money involved. So suffice to say that we are really in a period of expansion and flourishing, which feels really exciting and really good. So now I would like to invite each of our contributing editors to introduce themselves and maybe mention just one thing that they especially enjoy about working with Hodgepodge. And I can start. I'm Gail. I'm based in Ottawa. I'm actually in Pennsylvania at the Highlights Foundation on a writing retreat. And something that I particularly like about working with Hodgepodge, it's a really particular thing. Our internal communications are really funny. So like Pam does the notes for us, and her minutes from our meetings are such a hoot. And also Aaron, when he does the meeting invitations, he always does something fun. So our internal communications are just a joy and a pleasure. I will pass it to Christine.
Hi everyone, it's so exciting to be here. I'm Christine McCallums. I'm one of the other associate editors. And I've been with Hodgepodge, I don't even know how long now. I sort of lost track. So, not from the beginning, I joined later, so not as long as Gail. But yeah, it's been really fun. I don't actually contribute much writing, but I love editing and seeing, like, reading all your work and working with some of you in this room has been super exciting. Um, and in my like day job, I'm a psychology professor, but I also like write novels. So I had like a novel called The Band that came out last year, and I'm working on my next one. But sorry, yeah, what else? What was the other thing we were supposed to share?
Just something that you particularly like about working with Hodgepodge.
Okay. Yeah. I think the probably the neatest thing about Hodgepodge that I love with every issue and that I love as an editor too is just how the stories sort of span across genres and they're all very unexpected. I feel like every story I edit like comes from approaches storytelling and approaches the art from a totally different angle that I don't necessarily like expect going in. And so I feel like every time I read an issue or every time I edit, like the story that lands in my lap is just totally either something that I love and I've always loved, or like a brand new, like, not to say genre, because I don't know if we really do genres in short stories, but it almost feels like a different genre I wouldn't normally read, but is like super thrilling to just be exposed to. So that's probably my favorite part. The diversity of writing that gets represented and the different styles is like really neat. I think as a writer, it's nice to be outside my own comfort zone in that way. I'm going to pass it on to Pam.
Hi, everyone. I'm Pam. I write as Felicia Strangeways, and I'm based right outside New York City in Riverside, Connecticut. And I think the thing I like best about Hodgepodge is I'm going to echo Christine. I love seeing what everyone's done with the story and how everyone's story connects to the image in really unexpected ways. It's just such a pleasure to read, and I'm so proud of this issue. It's great. I'm going to pass it to Mary Lynn now.
Hey, my name's Mary Lynn, but I write under the name Wood Reed, and I'm in Los Angeles. And I like so many things about working with this journal. Um, I think the thing I like most is the community that we have developed. So many times, and I think all of you can relate, you send your work out, and either it's accepted or not. Sometimes you'll have someone say, "Hey, we're going to edit this for you from that journal," but rarely. And the thing that we have really strived to do is create this community of writers and also give good feedback to all of the incredibly diverse and amazing stories that we get. So I am now going to pass this on to Marco.
Thank you, Mary Lynn. I'm Marco, and I live in Vienna, Austria, and I was muted. The thing I love a million things about Hotch, and I've been here since the beginning, so there's a lot to love. But lately, what's really been kicking my bucket is seeing what writers concoct as a story and the way that story links to the image in a way that I probably never would have seen. I mean, I write stories linked to the images too, and then I see what other people do. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Wow. Okay, I see where they're going, but I never would have thought of that. That's really a cool revelation for me, among, like I said, many, many other things. So I'm going to pass to Heather.
Hi, I'm Heather Pagano. I live near San Jose, California. I'm also a contributing editor. I think for me, I always come to Hotchpotch excited about the art. I'm like, what's going to be the next art in the issue? And as many have said, like, I know what I would do with that image, but I don't know what anyone else is going to do. But I think I come for the art and I stay for the people because I think all the writers that we get to meet and working with my fellow editors is just tons of fun. So I think I'm probably the last editor. Um,
I think we
which
have,
works out.
I think we have Aaron.
Oh, Aaron, sorry, Aaron.
That's all right. I'm Aaron and I'm invisible. Kidding. Yeah, so I love that I love our values, like I love our values. I love that we're interested in quality, we're interested in community, we're not interested in money. And we want an audience, but we're not even all that interested in marketing. Like I love that. It allows us to focus on what to me is what's important and what makes it feel good for me to be an artist, with audience and in community.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to just pass it on to Marco now, who's going to read our mission statement.
Am I? We are a stew, a quilt, a jam band, chaos, dexterity, precipice, concocting, hatching, dazzling, a bunch of bitchy buds, wacky whizzes, sprightly speculators. We long to belong. As a collective, we want to discover, delight, differentiate. We want to provoke and unify. We collaborate to share stories and images to experience what it means to create together, to redefine and expand our own creative processes. We make art to share with curious fellow travelers like you. And I'm going to pass to Heather.
Thanks, Marco. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our process. We were just talking about all of this image stuff. So our process is a little different from most literary magazines. We start with our art editor, Erin, inviting a guest artist to join us, and then each writer selects an image that they use for the prompt. Once the stories are written, Erin then provides illustrations, making it like a three-part conversation. We divide up the production and editing tasks among the editorial staff. Our guest artist for this issue is Emma Tumanyun, and we're thrilled to have her here with us today. Our guest writers are S. Maxfield, David Sidney, Peter Kesherali, L.D. Blackmore, Wei Zhang, Catherine Snow, Zari Fekete, Lynn Hazelton, Karen Walker, Amelia Burton, Allison Wittenberg, Catherine Riley, Natasha Mihel, Hannah Floyd, Philippi Herndon, Laura J. Morris, Kelly Murashige, Lori Ember, Sammy Mack, Haley Oakwood, Peter Deans, Epiphany Farrell, Jenny Hart, Timothy Goodwin, and Claudia Montpere. And now I'd like to invite the guests who are with us today to introduce themselves, tell us where you're located, and tell us the name of your story. So let's see if I can, I'm just going to come along to the first person on my list. And then after you've talked to us, you can do just as the editors did and pass the baton to the next person. So Epiphany, can you tell us where you're from and the name of your story? You're muted, Epiphany. No worries.
Oops. I'm in Southern Illinois. I'm so far south in Illinois, I have to go north to go to parts of Kentucky. And the name of my story is Then a Huge Tiger Bounds into the Scene and Bites Off Johnny's Head. And who do I pass it to? Amelia?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Amelia Burton. I'm in Massachusetts, and my story is titled Meaning All, Meaning None. And I will pass to Kelly.
Oh, hi. I'm Kelly Murashige. I'm from Hawaii, and my story is called Temporary Animals. Um, I don't know who to pass to. I'm not very good at this. I will pass to Hallie.
Hallie Oakwood. You're muted, Hallie.
Hello, sorry. Hi, my name's Hallie Oakwood, and I live in the UK. I'm a couple of hours from London, and my story is called Wolf Moon. And I will pass to Alison Wittenberg.
I don't think Allison's with us right now. I don't think she's here yet.
Okay. Is that Peter Deans? Peter?
Hi, thanks. Hi. Well, I'm based in England, in the northeast of England, Newcastle upon Tyne, and I'm in a writing group with Jenny Hart, who it's lovely to see. My story is called Fossil, and I shall pass to Jenny.
Thanks, Peter. I'm Jenny Hart. I live in Nuneaton in Warwickshire in the UK. And my story is The Marvelous Marlows. And I will pass to, who hasn't gone yet? Natasha?
Thanks, Jenny. Sure. Hi, I'm Natasha. I'm from Vancouver, Canada, and my story is Eight Strangers in the Park as the World Falls Apart. And I will pass the baton to Laurie.
Hi, I'm Lori. I am on the Upper West Side of New York City, and my story is called Another Face. And let's see, I will pass to Sammy, perhaps.
Thanks. Yeah. Hi, I'm Sammy Mack, and my story is called Eight Mount Olympus, and it's based on Emma's gorgeous painting Zeus. And I am in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I am scrolling through my list here to see who hasn't gone yet.
I think Claudia and Hannah.
Claudia. Okay, Claudia just came up. Claudia.
Hi, thanks, Sammy. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and my story is called Goat Seasons. And I will pass to, and I already forgot. There's one more person, but I
I
forget.
think Hannah and Egan haven't gone yet.
Okay, I'll pass to Hannah.
Hi, I'm from Cambridge in the UK, and my story is titled Labyrinth. And I will pass to Egan.
Hi, sorry, I just jumped in, so I'm not exactly sure, but I think just my name. I'm Egan.
So your
I'm
name where you are in your story title.
I live in Venice, California, and my story is called Good and Evil, I think. You guys, I can't remember. It's terrible.
That happens to me all the time.
I mean, really, should have been prepared.
I think, is that everybody? Is everybody that did not go? Great. All right, so we'll pass it to Christine.
All right, so we want to make sure we finish on time today, so we don't want to go longer than an hour. And so that means if someone goes long on their reading, Marco is, I realize I'm echoing.
That's me echoing with the performance.
Oh, haha. Okay.
Demonstrating the gong, and now I'm not.
Yeah, so beware of the gong. Anywho, let's begin with Lori Ember reading from her story, Another Face.
Okay, Another Face. When he opens the door to his studio, there she is. He wasn't sure she would come. It's been a whole year since he's seen her, a whole year since she left him. He's not sure what to expect. He is frightened by how light and confident she's become without having him always by her side, without having him always watching over her. She looks well, though, her skin sun-tanned and radiant, her gold-green eyes sparkling, her honey hair still streaked with flecks of gold and also now some silver. She appears to shimmer, appears to have aged much less than he has in her absence. She kicks off her flip-flops and steps inside. Not only does he miss her, but he needs her, he's realized, after months of being angry and dismayed. And at least for today, they found a way to make it work. Today, they have an arrangement. Today, they have agreed on an exchange of services. She will pose for him so he can paint her one last time. Then, if she still wants to, they can amicably part ways for good. Outside it is warm and sunny. He opens all the windows, lets in the light, hears the waves gently lapping the cove, breathes in the fresh air she has brought with her. I'm glad you're here, he says. I'm glad you're glad, she says. He waits for her to say something more, but she doesn't. Let's get started then, he says. He hands her a bright orange shirt that offsets the shine of her hair, a blue-green skirt to accentuate the glow of her eyes. You can change over there. He points to the screen on the other side of the room. He wants to paint her in bright colors. Today he is feeling bright. Today the possibilities are endless. Today he will remind her why she used to love him. He does not tell her that he will paint her as the woman she was, as the woman he still wants her to be. You are still the most important thing to me, he says when she is dressed and ready. He looks into her eyes. She turns away. I only feel that way when I am posing for you, she says. In my studio, you are the only thing that matters. I cannot live my life in your studio, she says.
Yay, thank you so much, Lori. I love that story. I read it in the issue first before you read it just now. And one of the things that struck me most was like I feel like uh, there's something really timeless about a breakup story like this. And this one in particular really struck me because it's like all of the beauty and none of the like quagmire that like can like drag a breakup story down with like the conflict and the he said she said. It's only the beautiful like poignant moments, and it has a resonant ethereal quality that I absolutely love. So I really appreciated the story for that. Okay, Next up,
I think
we
Allison,
have Allison
Allison did
Wittenberg
not
reading.
make it, so we're gonna
Oh,
skip
yeah,
ahead.
that's true. Okay, so we'll skip over Allison and we'll go to Natasha, uh, Michal, who will read Eight Strangers in the Park as the World Falls Apart.
Sure. Thanks, Christine. Okay. There's a woman who's been shot in the head, and now there are 7 of us in this park. I'd talk about the woman. Oh my gosh, I know you want me to, but dear God, just forget about her. There's not much to say that's not already been felt. Instead, I'll talk about what matters to me, okay? As I imagine the others will do, and then we will go on with our lives because, well, she's dead now. She's dead. What else is there to do? Me, I'm just a visitor here in this park, passing through. Just my luck, am I right? Violence is so epidemic, so banal, like everyone's doing it, like it's some fad. It exhausts me, too much watching the news. Anyways, I used to call this dump home, funny. But upon returning, I found the city and the park changed. The people, too. Yes, I found death here. And I found you, the one I looked up to once. So just forget the dead woman, please. Please, we're talking about you and me, and this is a story of many deaths. I'm pleased we spoke again. I am pleased that after so many years, we both allowed each other the space we needed to converge with all the might of that old folk song, tra-la-la, tra-la-la. It was the right time for it to happen, our meeting. I mean, not the other thing. Bang! And as day bleeds into evening here in this city I once called home, and I tip-tap type out the circles in my brain all over my phone, I am left with robust waves of sentiment. Yes, I wonder if it was serendipity or fate. Did you feel it too, the purity of our encounter? Did you see all the shimmery edges of those fractals of time moving as they did through space? They aligned to lead me here to this park in the cold with my summer dress and slippers. I played Buffon for you. I'm gonna end it there because I'm approaching 2 minutes.
Yay, thank you. Such a different story, but I think my favorite thing about this one is that it starts with like a bang, like literally or metaphorically. But it also it like moves way beyond the shock and then makes I feel like makes a broader point, like almost like a political point about the like the world we live in and the ubiquity of violence and how like we've become desensitized to it, while also being really lyrical, like even though it's prose, right? It almost sounds like poetry in a lot of parts. So love that story too. But I think yes, at this point, I'll pass it to Felicia or Pam.
Thank you. Next, a few literary trivia questions. So you'll see multiple choice answers on your screen when you hear the question. So if you'd like to participate, please feel free to jump in. No pressure, no points. Results will be tallied anonymously. So go ahead and guess.
All right. So I do three per. I've got 2 slots, so I'm going to do three per time. So we'll start with one. So in Hamlet, scene 1, act 5, Hamlet holds up a skull and begins a famous monologue. The oft-heard quote is as follows: "Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well." True or false? All right, I think everybody has registered. It's 9 and 7, so we're really not sure as a group. So let's see. I'm going to share the results. So the answer is false. And I actually wrote down, this is Marco that supplied this. The actual
Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, or something like that.
A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He
Most
has warned
excellent,
me.
yeah, right.
Yeah. So it's not quite that. All right, so let's go to question 2. Who wrote the dystopian novel Brave New World? Dick Cheney, Aldous Huxley, Marco Etheridge, or Stephen King? Marco's got a vote. I think we're pretty sure on this one. The challenge of these is always like, it can't be too easy and it can't be too hard. Yes, this one was a little too easy. I'm really glad Marco got a vote though. All right, so let's go back for number 3. So what is the title of George Eliot's most famous novel? Silas Marner, Mill on the Floss, Middlemarch, or To the Lighthouse? Last time, everybody told me they were too hard. So I kind of went a little. Okay, yeah, so we're not 100% sure. We've got 14 out of 15 people. Okay, there we go. So we're pretty sure it's Middlemarch, but let's see what we got here. It was Middlemarch. Good job, everybody. So I'm going to turn it over back to Pam.
Thanks, Gail. Next up is Kelly Morris-Chier. She will read from her story, Temporary Animals.
Thank you, Pam. I'm a slow reader, so I'm only going to do about half, but it's a joke, this cruel tattoo. You did not want it. It makes you sick. You received it at a child's birthday party, one held by your boss a few hours ago. You're not sure why your boss invited you, her weird and quiet junior, to her 6-year-old's birthday party, but you knew better than to attempt to get out of it. It's not as if you had anything better to do anyhow. Why not spend your Saturday picking at a sloppily cut slice of sheet cake and letting snotty-nosed kids ask you why you're still single? What's your zodiac sign? One of the 6-year-olds asked. You paused. You don't know? I do, you snapped back. Congratulations, by the way. You now argue with children. You were born in the year of the mighty tiger. This means you are supposed to be courageous and strong. God, what a farce. You're neither of those things. Your ex called you tiger and meant it ironically. You were tame. You were meek. You bent to his will. Still, you forgot how much you like temporary tattoos. And I'll end it there.
Thanks, Kelly. What I love about this story is the voice. That unforeseen, delicious, inevitable whoosh at the end that characterizes a great piece of flash. So congrats on that. It's wonderful. Next up is Jenny Hart, who will read from her story, The Marvelous Marlows.
Okay, there with. Oops. Sorry about this. Right, I think I've got it now. Okay, I take scalding sips of my drink as we walk home, taking the shorter route along the main road. Normally, cars continually jolt down the short section of dual carriageway. Today it is empty, waved in sulphurous yellow as the streetlights flicker into life. Pippi tugs on the lead, keen to get home. As I step into the first glowing puddle, there's a pop that echoes through the silent streets. I'm not afraid of the dark, but things happen when it's too dark for anyone to see. I hurry to the next lamppost. Pop. Quickening my pace, I reach the next one. Pop. And the next. I look up the road, and one by one, every street lamp flickers and dies until the whole road is an endless umbra. And from the other side of the carriageway, beyond the crowded row of dense pine trees bordering the park, an orange bloom rises, carrying the scent of candy floss and popcorn. The param-pa-pa of circus music floats over the trees. Roll up, roll up. See the marvelous Marlowe sisters fly without a net. Pippi growls. I snatch her up and run, spilling scalding tea and coffee over my legs, cake scattered over the pavement. I run past the boarded up pub, past a closed restaurant and the dim fluorescent glow of the newsagents, past the derelict land, where something prowls in the darkness, too complete for shadows.
Thanks, Jenny. Jenny's got the cover art story, so that's great. And what I love, well, I love magic realism. So this one's a double win for our readers. The magic's in the story, and as you can hear, it's also in Jenny's wonderful lyrical prose. I'll pass this on to Marco.
Thanks, Pam. And now we'll hear from Hannah Floyd, who will read from her piece, Labyrinth.
Hi, everyone. I would like to share the very short poem that I wrote that was the first draft of this very much longer story. So the poem I called Synergy, Parasitism, Effluent, Ecstasy, Mastery, Tyranny. And the poem goes like this. Woman as scratch pad. Knife block as woman. Woman as palette. And that was the poem that I eventually expanded into a story. But there were times when I didn't know if I could make it to 1,500 words. It eventually ended up as a robot story, which I'll read a teeny bit from. This one. So this part is called Robot as Knife Block. I am the other woman. She is the woman, and I am the other. She is light, and I am dark. My skin takes on the myriad forms of creation. My left shoulder is currently a different color to my right shoulder. His relationship with her is the one that will go on his gravestone, the one he sweats about. Nobody will bury me next to him. I'm a monster in her eyes. I consume the degradation of it. I grow deeper and more decorative while I remain in his house. Sitting on the couch with my legs tight against my blue jeans, I know I have something he will play for. I exist to be his hidden joy. He could keep me in a drawer, cupboard, or under his bed because I am that kind of monster. She calls me that God-forsaken thing. I've never seen her, or more accurately, he has never allowed her to set eyes on me because I am too beautiful. Most days we don't have sex. He paints, sculpts, and directs his engineering team. He comes in, looks at me, and goes out. I feel his eyes in the room after he is gone. When we do have sex, it is short and brutal. He is full of a grand tension he builds up in the tendons of his huge neck. They ripple and glow red with desire. His fingers press deep into my flesh. All his marks on me are erasable. I don't forget them. Why don't I leave? Why don't I find someone better for whom I am the primary focus? The truth is, I have learned to turn degradation into food. I eat it for breakfast. I like the way the warm light falls on me as I walk through the atrium. I can sit and be the knife block as he slides in the knives. I can take many cuts and still be strong. A robot can be many colors of whore. That's it.
Excuse me. Thanks, Hannah. I love the staccato style of this story, the drum beat sort of delivery, and especially in the opening. And also, I really enjoyed the ties to Greek mythology, which just give the whole story an excellent vehicle. So thank you very much. Next up, we'll have Holly Oakwood, who will read from her piece, Wolf Moon.
Hi, everyone. My story's called Wolf Moon. Her grades have dropped, the principal said to Claire's parents. They winced at Claire, who remained silent, her voice now a growl. She gazed up the window at the expanse of woods. The waxing gibbous would become a full moon soon. You're right, honey. You look flushed, her mother said. She was hot, jittery, senses heightened. Claire? The principal stared. They locked eyes, his flickering. She could smell his fear from blocks away, track his scent, Smell the flask hidden in his desk. Drunk in solitude, the blood dried, his cold white skin concealed fangs. Till the woods bring it on.
Thanks, Holly. I was fortunate to be the assigned editor on Holly's microfiction, and this story just grabbed me from the very first read. There's so much power in a small package of microfiction. So real, just well done. And next up, we have Sammy Mack, who will read an excerpt from her piece, 8 Mount Olympus.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Sissy's mama was the one who had grown up hard. Though she loved to brag about the time she'd been royalty. Pink satin shirt she'd sewn it herself, with faux mother-of-pearl buttons, buttery leather chaps fringed down the seams over tight, stiff jeans, all those curves her ramrod posture couldn't hide. Sissy's daddy loved telling the story of spotting his teenage queen riding out in the Oklahoma rodeo with an American flag flapping behind her. Thwack, thwack, thwack. Damn near gave him a heart attack. How picked her up from that cow patty of a town and brought her back to Tiramudo, Florida. Sissy's mama made clear it cut both ways, the wanting. Daddy with his knuckles full of diamond-crusted rings, his 20,000 head of cattle, his stable full of Appaloosas for his rodeo queen to ride. It was a good story, but the key to a good story, Sissy learned, was to leave out inconvenient details, like how Sissy never saw her mother ride, how she quit riding the day she came home from the hospital with Sissy and found another woman's earring on her nightstand, how she swore she'd never be his rodeo queen again, how Sissy's mama only talked about the betrayals when she'd had a couple glasses of wine, which she only did when she also had bruises to hide. One of Sissy's earliest memories was her mama pulling her onto her lap at the kitchen table, her sweet fermented breath. "I'm nobody's trick pony, am I?" Sissy knew even then to shout "no" like she believed it. Sissy's father was the one who taught her to ride, or rather paid for the instructions at the fancy equestrian center in Mineola, the one with the perfect white fencing and long manicured lawn. Her daddy had his own horse barns, but he didn't want his princess getting comfortable around a certain kind of cowboy. So twice a week in the school year and most weekdays in the summer, he made Sissy's mother drive her 45 minutes out to where the slash pines broke away into the unruly geometry of orange groves. Sissy took to riding like a duck to water. After all, it was in her blood, her mother constantly reminded her.
Thanks, Sammy. So listening to and reading your story, I love the sentence earlier on. A nice bit of theater. LASIK procedures had given him and Sissy both 20/20 vision, and that gave me such a view into both of the characters. I love that part. And also, there's like, for me, there's this air of Southern Gothic, but dressed up in modern times. And yeah, it just, the blend is really great. I loved it. So great story. Thank you. Next up, we'll have another round of trivia.
You guys did so well the first time. So I gotta go back to quizzes. Number 4, what do we have? Which of the following novel, or this is a little harder. Which of the following novels was a Pulitzer Prize winner in 2025? Night Watch by Jane Ann Phillips, James by Percival Everett, Wednesday's Child by Yu Yun Lee, and Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. Yeah, we're not quite as sure on this one. And try not to look it up. Or obviously, you could look it up. That would be cheating. Okay. 15, 16. We got one more person. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're leaning towards James, but we're not sure. James or Wednesday's Child. Let's see what we've got. I don't even remember. Yes, it was James. I think Wednesday's Child was 2024. And I think Demon Copperhead was the year before. They were all winners, but they were just from different years. All right, let's go back. Number 5. What do we have? Oh, this is too easy. Who wrote the book To Kill a Mockingbird? James Patterson, Heather Pagano, Miriam Taves, or Harper Lee? Somebody vote for Heather. I loved it. Oh, two votes for Heather. I think Heather just used the pen name. I think that's what little known literary facts. All right.
And she's pals with Truman Capote.
I know. It was Harper Lee. All right, one more, number 6. Oh, hang on. Number 6. In Richard III, Act 1, Scene 1, the Duke of Gloucester, Richard III begins the play with this iconic line, "Now is the winter of our discontent." With this line, Shakespeare is conveying sadness and a wintry gloom, true or false? And I didn't know this one. This comes straight from Marco, our Shakespeare expert at Hodgepodge. All right, we seem to have most people think it's false. So let's see what we've got. It is indeed false. And Marco, do you want to explain?
It's exactly the opposite. Wait, am I on? Yeah, I'm on. Shakespeare, the Duke York says, Richard, who will be Richard III, now is the winter of our discontent made spring because York shows up or Gloucester shows up and he's all happy. So people use it in exact opposite of what Shakespeare actually meant. So sorry, I don't know that one completely by memory.
Thanks, Marco. I'll pass it to Woodreed for the next round of introductions.
Thanks, Gail. So next up, we're going to have Peter Deans, and he will be reading from his story, Fossil.
Thank you. Jake, Grace shouted. She ran through the open doors of the large conference room in the Manchester Hotel, looked up as she headed towards them through the rows of chairs, scanning left and right. My son, he's 6, he's wandered off. Dark hair, red t-shirt. And then directly to the only female in the group. Have you seen him? Has he come in here? Professor Marion Stockdale had a grey bob, kind eyes, and a presence that served her equally well in frothing university debates and remote parts of Western Sahara. Anyone seen a child? She said to her colleagues, and then, spread out, check the room. She took Grace by the arm. Why do you think your son would come in here, dear? It's the picture of the dinosaur on the board outside. Jake loves dinosaurs. It's the sort of thing he'd wander into. Ah, she nodded. We're setting up for a paleontology conference. And when was he last with you? I guess 5 minutes ago, said Grace. Marion checked on her colleagues. No luck so far. If he turns up, I'll inform reception. Oh, can I give you my number? It would be quicker. Well, okay, said the professor, pulling out a phone. Grace quickly recited her number. Hang on, just pulling up the... Grace hopped and agitated and said, can we do Bluetooth? Not sure, bear with. Marion was pressing buttons slowly, taking in the concerned mother. Well put together in a smart blue gym gear, the crucifix tattoo on her ring finger. The number again? She tapped her phone. And your name is? Ellen, said Grace, with 2 L's. Right, Ellen, think I've got that. Can you just call me to make sure, said Grace, trying not to sound too patronising. OK. There was a buzz in Grace's pocket. Thanks, she said, still scanning the room as she ran off to search elsewhere. Hope you find him soon, Marion called after her and headed back to the playing group discussion. 10 minutes later, Grace entered the passenger side of a car parked a few streets away. Got it, said the driver.
Okay, I loved the story because it starts off with a bang and it just continues on from there. And there's this great, you think it's going to end a certain way and it doesn't. It's a twist. And then there's a twist again. It was really well done. Thank you for reading that. So next, we'll have Epiphany Farrell, who will be reading from her story, which has the best title, I think, I've ever read. Then a huge tiger bounds into the room and bites off Johnny's head.
Real life isn't like that. Problems don't just get solved, the whole Deus ex machina thing. You can't count on something like that. Sheila tells herself 100 times a day, 1,000 times a day, and it doesn't make Johnny any easier to bear. And that's another thing, a grown man named Johnny. It was okay in high school, maybe college, who knows? Sheila thought neither of us went. It's fine with his fishing buddies, but hanging on to a name like that, printing it on your name tag at Lowe's, where he's still only a sub manager, and guys younger than him call him that kid name. It isn't really the name, Sheila knows. It's that Johnny has never grown, and he's distrustful of any change, any growth in his wife. So Sheila reads books on the bus, not at home, and never shouts any answers on the game shows they watch, unless it's deliberately a wrong one. She walks with the nurses at lunchtime, getting their steps in. Sheila always walks in front, never chats with the gals. What if, she thinks, it turns out the great aunt she's rumored to have is real and also rich and leaves Sheila $3.5 million only on the condition she gets a divorce? Or what if one of her clients in the osteopath's office turns out to be a producer and wants her to star in a movie and she'll have to leave right away, quit her job, leave her husband, and just go? Or what if one of those transformation spells she half-heartedly tried in that book of alleged black magic she took from the free little library actually worked? Those things don't happen, she tells herself for the thousandth time. She'll be stuck in this life, in this bloodless marriage forever. If only she had tiger blood in her veins. She dawdles on her way home, goes the long way, and Johnny's on the front steps when she pulls into her driveway, and she can tell right away he's annoyed with her for breaking routine, for being 5 minutes later than usual. Sheila wishes something would happen. Anything at all.
Okay, as I said, this title is awesome because it just becomes a part of the story. Um, and you've also, Epiphany, managed to create this really claustrophobic world. And the irony is that the main character, the narrator, is as afraid of change as her husband. So really well done. Thanks. Thanks for that. Next is Amelia Burton, and she will be reading from her story, Meaning All, Meaning None.
Thank you. Um, Your mother cleans the tiger table religiously, before and after every wine night. Blue bucket, sopping rags, spray bottle of bleach. You hear the spritzer creaking death from one room over, where she's locked you in the bedroom. She sprays and sprays and sprays. The word spray contains the word pray, so you think the bleach is a form of confession, the table cleansed, and so her sins. Your father hates the tiger table. He complains the stripes are gaudy, the carved shape of the wood ridiculous. I'd just like a normal coffee table. A nice big brown hunk of wood that says nothing, he complains. But who else has a tiger in their living room? It says so much about us, your mother says. You think it says a great deal about your mother, her worship of the tiger table. Your father always relents, holding up a crisp spread of newspaper to block the orange and black stripes from view. He licks his fingers as he turns the pages. You wonder if he doesn't ingest a little ink every time he reads. The word drink contains the word ink, so you assume consuming is a form of writing. It follows. Communication hides a broken communion. Your sister likes the tiger table. She is crawling age, her clumsy hands and knees carrying her across the carpet to the tiger's wooden face. She touches the grooves in its wrinkled forehead, the teeth protruding from its roaring mouth. Her tiny fingers wriggle like worms decomposing flesh. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Amelia. The thing that struck me so much with your story was this deconstruction of words, which I've never seen before. I mean, it was that just grabbed me, and I had to finish the story, and I think I read it 3 times. So, and it just also speaks to this narrator's mental state. Like they are clearly not doing well. So great creation of environment and character. So now I am going to pass this on to Gail for Q&A.
Yeah, I don't know that anyone has questions, but I just thought I'd just leave a little bit of space in case people wanted to ask questions either to any of the writers or to the editors, or if anyone wants to share anything that they haven't yet, this is the moment.
Is there time for me to read for 1 or 2 minutes?
Yeah, sure. We won't be commenting, but yeah, if you want to jump in,
Okay.
Claudia, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Goat season. The stranger, a pregnant old woman, interrupts us in the garden. We girls and women are harvesting our light tulips, a crucial job. It is only our light tulips that keep the roads from being dark and treacherous when the sun disappears. The old woman steps out from behind the 5-foot tulip, the one that blazes so much light all of us quietly covet it for our rooms. I'm Mother Brown, she says. A few weeks later, Mother Brown's baby girl is born. The child has an X for a face. No eyes, nose, or mouth. Mother Brown doesn't speak, just holds that baby tenderly, coos at her, nurses her with her pendulous, shriveled breasts. The X on the baby's face opens right at the middle when she sucks with a faint, gulping sound. Mother Brown calls her Zara. One day when Zara is a few weeks old, the X reddens and throbs. She rubs and rubs it with her tiny fingers, and the upper left quadrant of the X splits open. Something beige, white, and furry emerges. We shriek, but Mother Brown reassures us that all is fine. We must move her somewhere flat, she says, so we carefully move the baby to a table. When the beige thing completely crawls out, we see it has 4 legs, a torso, and some kind of animal head. It tries to stand, but its legs wobble. Finally, it manages to stand on Zara's forehead. A kid, Mother Brown says, clapping her hands. A baby goat. And out comes another one, bleating softly.
Thank you so much, Claudia. Really happy you jumped in.
Thanks.
I'm gonna go ahead. Somebody wanted to say something? Actually, I just wanted to open Emma. I don't know if you have anything you'd like to say. I know you have, is that your mom? Your mom is there, maybe doing some translation. Um, but if Emma, if you have anything you'd like to share, just about your art, or we're very appreciative. So I know, just to make a few minutes for you.
Hello, I'm Emma's mother. In advance, I apologize for my bad English. Sorry. And Emma don't speak English. It is a great honor for us to be here today. There's so many talented people have gathered. Allow me to thank the team of creators of Hotch and Potch magazine on behalf of Emma for this wonderful initiative, as well as for presenting my daughter work in the magazine. This is a great incentive for further creativity, as well as for expanding recognition, which is very important for a creative person. We're very touched and grateful. Thank you.
It's lovely to hear, and we're so honored and moved to be able to be in dialogue with Emma's incredible imagination and skill. It's really a tremendous experience, and we hope we can keep in touch, because she's a very special artist, and we're just really, really happy. I just want to pass the baton to Aaron. He'll talk a little bit about where we go for our next issue, 5.2.
Yeah, hi everybody. Before we go, just want to do a little sneak preview. And for me again, Emma, thank you so much for your art. I was so thrilled when I came across your art, and I was so excited when you agreed to be a part of Hodgepodge, and you've been really wonderful to work with. So thank you. Yeah, before we go, just want to do a little sneak preview to get you excited maybe about writing for our next issue. Our next issue is special because our featured artist is a person named Byron Johnson, who's a tattooist. And the designs using the prompts were created from tattoos, or they were the art for tattoos. Like for the last issue, we're inviting submissions for flash fiction pieces and Drabble in response to two images. Writers can write flash, which is 750 words or fewer, or Drabble, which is a 100-word story for either image. I've put a link to our magazine in the chat, and of course, that's easy enough to find. Let me share my screen here. All right. So this is our website, and if you click on submissions, you can see the art for our upcoming issue. These are tattoos again by Byron Johnson. And down here are the details on how to submit if you've not submitted for shorts for us. And there's a form down here. And let's see, this image is called Eros Revised, and this is the golden instep. Let's see. Yep. So please, please, please visit our website. Go to those links. Submit a story.
Thanks, Aaron, and thanks everybody. So grateful to have you all with us. Thank you so much for sharing your work. Thank you for our audience and all of you who chose to spend this hour with us. Please spread the word about Hodgepodge. Keep an eye out for 5.2 coming in October 26th. We really appreciate you spending this hour with us. Have a great rest of the weekend, and congratulations to all of you. It's a really beautiful, beautiful thing that we've made this together. So thank you all.
Gail, let me say one quick thing. And also in a couple of months, look for this print version on Amazon. So you'll be able to order it as a journal. Yeah, that's all.
And thanks to Mary Lynn, because she's the one who made that possible. She sets the whole thing up. She's a designer extraordinaire. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody, and we'll see you online.